In today's gaming news, Lost Planet 3 and Company of Heroes 2 launched this June, EA backs off on its microtransaction statement, Torment Tides of Numenera gets a Kickstarter, and SimCity is now available and unplayable. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the show. It is Wednesday, March the 6th, and my name is Force, here with today's gaming news. First up today, both Lost Planet 3 and Company of Heroes 2 will be launching on the exact same day, which means I probably won't be taking a shower that week. Lost Planet 3 is an action-adventure game from Spark Unlimited that is set as a prequel to the first two games. Players take control of Jim Payton, a family man and miner stuck on an ice planet infested with acrid. Company of Heroes 2 is the successor to Company of Heroes, a World War II-based real-time strategy game. The game was picked up by Sega, who also publishes the Total War franchise, following the bankruptcy of THQ. Both games are set to launch on June 25th. I don't know what it is about Lost Planet, but I'm still holding out hope for that franchise. I know for many people those first two games were a little bit disappointing, but I like the atmosphere and I love the concept behind it, so I am still looking forward to Lost Planet 3. And when it comes to Company of Heroes 2, well, there's no way that can't be good. Next up in news today, EA has backed off on the statement that will be including microtransactions in all of its future games. Probably because they realized even if it's true, it's a dumb thing to say out loud. During today's Wedbush Technology Conference, EA's chief financial officer said that while all their future games will support the ability to include microtransactions, not every game will have them. He went on to clarify that microtransactions will be a focus on the mobile platform, while console and PC games will focus on extensions of content, similar to Battlefield Premium. So basically, they're changing their statement from all of our future games will include microtransactions to all of our mobile games will have microtransactions. All of our other games will have tons of expansions and season passes. That's basically what I'm getting out of this. Again, even if it's true, it was sort of a dumb thing to say, but is this the way the industry is going? Well, signs would point to yes. Next up in news, Torment Tides of something. It's getting a Kickstarter. Today, In Exile Entertainment, who is currently working on Wasteland 2, launched a Kickstarter for their next project, Torment Tides of Numenera. According to the Kickstarter page, Torment will be a single-player isometric RPG where you play as a set character joined by NPCs. The game is inspired by Planescape Torment and promises a similar rich dialogue system. Despite my inability to pronounce the name of this game, there's clearly a ton of interest behind it, because the Kickstarter just started and it's already funded. In fact, I think they're probably going to more than triple the amount that they initially asked for. And well, that's a pretty cool thing. Last up in news today, SimCity is now available, however, no one can play it. In fact, most people can't even log on. SimCity is the fifth installment in the popular city-building franchise developed by Maxis Software. The game launched yesterday and was rife with server issues and instability, making it unplayable for many. When the servers were working, gamers were met with queue times pushing an hour, causing a community uproar and backlash towards the game's always online requirement. I know, this is a perfect example as to why games shouldn't require an always online internet connection, and it's incredibly frustrating for anyone who bought the game on day one, myself included. While I'm not going to make any excuses for EA or always online requirements, I do want to shed some light onto the situation. Now basically what happened here is the servers were maxed to capacity and people weren't able to log on for that reason. And while you might just say, why don't they just buy more servers, or why don't they have more servers available at launch? Well, the problem that we're having here, and it's the same problem that Blizzard had with the launch of Diablo 3, is that the server capacity needed for the first few days or week of launch is vastly larger than what you need for the lifetime of the game. And from what I understand here, it would just cost them an astronomical amount of money to purchase the servers necessary for that first week or two as compared to what they're going to need for the lifetime of that game. And that's why they don't actually go about doing that. And you might say, say, well, Force, these companies are made of money. Why don't they just purchase as many servers as they need to make sure this doesn't happen? Well, that's not really the case. While these companies may have a lot of money, no company is infallible, and any company is capable of going out of business. In fact, I still remember when Circuit City was a thing. I guess the point here is, while it may not excuse the requirement of an online internet connection, I did want to shed some light onto why this is happening with SimCity and why it happened with Diablo 3. And it's the same reason we run into problems at the launch day of many MMOs. It's just a matter of server capacity at launch compared to server capacity needed for the rest of the life of the game. Anyways, what I want to know from you guys today is, what do you think about all these recent issues, and do you have any ideas for ways they could fix it? Are there any suggestions out there as to how they could stop this from being a problem besides don't require an internet connection? Because guess what? As much as it sucks, this isn't going away anytime soon. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of the show. As always, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. Alright, now that the show's done, let's go play some SimCity. Can I play now? How about now?